Yeah, that everlasting moment of going live and wondering if the live is working, but we're going to play this theme song regardless.
Did you grow up in Canada? Were you alive in the 90s? Did you love YTV? Yeah, you did.
Greetings, everybody, and welcome to You, Me, and YTV. It has been too long, but we are so happy to be back. And I say we, I mean me, because right now Nesbit is on vacation in a in a box of some kind, and not in a seven type of way. Melissa and I are in the process of moving homes, moving studios, moving all that, and we have big plans for 2023. Hello, what's going on? Hey, how you doing? It is working, thank you. Oh, it's good to see you too, Mister. Oh, hello, Scott. How's it going? So basically, what's going on right now, everybody, is we're talking about YTV and merchandise right now. Because right now, well, in a few hours on Black Friday, at a little website called retrokid.ca, they are having a big sale of all across all websites. Sorry, across their entire website, and they specialize in nostalgia merchandise. These are hard words to say because I'm almost positive I'm making them up. But they specialize in nostalgia merchandise from the 90s and 80s. And a large part of it is the YTV collection. They also have Scooby Doo. They also have the raccoons. They have a whole bunch of things, and it's quite amazing. The only thing not on sale on the website is the brand new stuff of the YTV collection that they just released, including the hit list, PJ Katie's Farm, and and Reboot, of course, Reboot. Great Reboot stuff. But beyond that, this sweater, the video and arcade top 10 sweater from last year, their massive hit, that is on sale. The was already priced down, and now with the big 40% off sale that RetroKit's having, that it's going to be even less than that. So that's something to really jump on. If you were a fan of You Can't Do This on television, or You Can't Do That on television, this is definitely the time to jump on it, because when people say, oh, I have a Black Friday sale and everything costs the same thing and we're going to mark it down just a bit, or the funny meme of, you know, Wednesday it says $40, Thursday it says $40, Black Friday it says 80 crossed off to $40. That's really funny. That is not the case with this website. There's actually some severe savings going on, especially when it comes to last year's stuff. How's it going? Wow, look at all these people. I haven't seen you in forever. Let's go through this for a little bit. Good evening. How's it going? Oh, I miss Catwalk too. Hey man, Hit List needs a comeback. They better add K-pop to the roster. Yeah, that's really cool. Actually, I like K-pop. I think K-pop's really cool. I like when I listen to it. I'm just kind of like, I don't know what the hell's going on. And there's so many singers, and everyone's backflipping and dancing, and it's awesome, and it's so exciting. And no, it's really cool. I think K-pop's really cool. I love J-pop as well from Japan. That's very awesome too. And yeah, it's great. But anyway, hello Bernadette. Aw, it's really nice to see you. Really nice to Bernadette. Hello. Thank you so much for all the shares. Yeah, but let's get back to basics. Everybody out there, if you are a fan of YTV and you think the sweater's cool, this sweater, it's not the best camera angle in the world, but I'm going to tell you, it's got the zone on it. It's got the robot on it. It's got the skateboard on it. It's got the Dark Knight Skull. The Dark Knight Skull is also on sale. So that the my personal favorite, my favorite T-shirt they ever made is just a white YTV shirt with the straight logo. It's a shirt I always wanted since I was a kid, and I have those. I rock those. In fact, I wear those shirts at every Comic Con I work at. I work at about 4 of them. So I've worn them all through Quebec City Comic Con. I've worn them all through Montreal Comic Con. I've worn them live on stage while talking to folks at Ottawa Comic Con and Winnipeg Comic Con. So what I love about these shirts in particular is it's kind of like, before geekdom was cool and you would go to a party and you would find that one guy wearing a Spider-Man shirt and talk to them all night because you're like, I found one. There is another. And not in a Highlander way where you want to cut off their head. You're like, no, this is a term of endearment. It's like, I found another one. So anyway, like in a last unicorn type of sense. So what I do is when I wear these, really cool story. I was wearing my Video and Arcade Top 10 sweater. By the way, there's a brand new T-shirt, a Video and Arcade Top 10. It's just a black T-shirt and much more affordable. Of course, this is kind of a Retrograde has what you call kind of a monopoly on 90s nostalgia when it comes to t-shirts because these are official licensed shirts and they go through hell trying to actually make these logos presentable in an HD way to be able to print them properly. Like it's not just some crappy iron on thing. Like this merchandise is crazily well made and a lot of care goes into it. If you're a Bloodsport fan, they have a quite a Bloodsport collection and that's marked down. So with the 40% off of Black Friday, that's even more marked down. Personally, my best bud through me because I signed up for their VIP sale, so you can kind of buy the Black Friday thing at least a day or two in advance if you wanted. Once no extra charge. This is just I follow their socials really well, and I subscribe to their email newsletter. So I definitely suggest you do that. Anyway, oh, what's going on? If the hit list came back, what bands and singers would you want to see take part in the roster? Here's the thing: the hit list, as Tarzan Dan has told me, and you could watch this interview on this very channel. If you're watching on YouTube, I believe it is on YouTube. If you're watching on Facebook, I believe it's on Facebook too. We try to broadcast the show on both places. We just want to get the most eyes. I never really cared about views as much as I cared about the views that watched mattered and weren't just robots that you pay to say that they watched and you get a false sense of success or accomplishment. I would prefer to talk to 5 people than 500. I can talk better in front of 500 than 5 people, ironically, but that's just the way it goes. That's the heart of a performer. What the thing about the hit list is that, as Tarzan Dan told me, is that they would play whatever was a hit, regardless of genre, regardless of style. If it was a hit, they would play it. So it didn't matter if it was Nirvana, Bush X, Spice Girls, Backstreet Boys, NXS, O Town, not O Town, one of those other bands. 98 Degrees. It did not matter. They would play it, and that's the beautiful thing about the 1990s is that I find it. I find music wasn't so compartmentalized, and it seems like like in Walmart when you're getting into music and just everything is rock pop. You see this thing, you're like, Hanson's next to Metallica. Doesn't matter. It's just like, here it is. And the chances of your eyes going through something and kind of seeing a CD that you otherwise would not have seen if you literally stuck to your genre, it's I kind of miss that. I kind of miss that whole kind of like we don't give a crap, whatever, it's music, go buy it. But it seems like when you're into the metal section in the top floor of HMV, the chances of you stumbling upon a really cool hip hop album is almost, impossible unless you literally go downstairs or upstairs to said section. So what kind of music would I want to see on a hit list? Anything that's a hit because it's all good, it's all fun. I want to see Tarzan Dan back in the game because Tarzan Dan actually tells me more about modern pop music. Tarzan Dan's got a brilliant musical head mind, and by the way, he's still friends with the Backstreet Boys. If you follow Tarzan Dan's social media, you will see he literally went on a boat trip with them not that long ago, and to this day they still call him out when he sees them at their shows. They'll put a spotlight on him and say, "This is the guy that played us in Canada first." And you can, like I said, we're here to talk. We're here to talk stuff. But when the Retro Kid guys are less busy, because one of them is, I don't know, one of the most famous voice actors in the world, Eric Bauza, who does Looney Tunes. He was Leonardo in the Ninja Turtles versus Batman, which, in my opinion, is one of the greatest animated Batman anything. It's one of the greatest Ninja Turtles anything. The fact that they're together is quite astounding. Anyway, he is very busy, and Steve, who is pretty much running Retro, he co-runs Retro Kid, but him and their team, they're really going for it, and they have a lot on their shoulders these days. So we're gonna try to get them on before Christmas time, but understandably they've been very busy. Oh my God, there are so many comments. Um, so what's going on here? Here's one. Whether Tarzan Dan was the host, I still wish I was the host for a new hit list, bringing K-pop. Yeah, you know what? Do it. You know what? Do it on YouTube. Be that person. Tell me, send me a message. Tell me, subscribe to my channel and you can explain to me all the bands because at some point I consider myself I try to consider myself hip, but my hair screams 1997 and my brain is still in 1992. So I may not look it, but I am 38 years young and I live in a van down by the river. So, yeah, tell me all about it. Make sure you, oh, I missed you, bro, too. I was getting worried. You know what? You should get worried because Melissa and I had the crappiest 3 months. First of all, our dog passed away. And then we had to move out of our house rather suddenly because of a mold infestation. We didn't know we had to move. We just had to leave it. And then we kind of weren't home, and the camera and a lot of stuff were still kind of in boxes. And then I'm telling everybody this for the first time. You're hearing this right now. I've not really complained on the internet. And even though it's my natural instinct to complain, and then it was kind of a little bit of purgatory in a sense of, are we moving home or are we moving not? We got that letter saying you can stay home, but it's going to take 7 months. It's time to find a new place to live, and we've been trying to find a place. And get this, in Montreal, the housing market has gone up exponentially in the last few years. Everything that used to cost, let's say 1,200, is now 1,700. It's been nuts, but I'm telling you all this because there might be a happy ending to it, all this, and hopefully it happens soon. But when it does, and we have a new place and we set up the new Yumi and YTV studio, me, Melissa, Nesbitt, or Nesbitt and I are looking forward to doing more broadcasts. And thank you so much for caring. Thanks so much for listening to this. Honestly, thanks not for shutting off and saying, "Oh, shut up, Warner." But I'm telling you, the amount of times I wanted to talk on the internet and just flat out bitch, I did not, because I wanted the story to end before, because otherwise it just sounds like an ongoing series of complaints. I would rather laugh about it in the past tense than complain about it in the pretense. Oh, thanks for keeping real YTV alive. Well, we're trying. We're trying. But you know what? It's all about the memories. And by the way, oh my goodness, everybody, this is important to mention. The YouTube channel Encore is calling it quits on November 30th. So you have a few days right now, in a proper HD way or a proper digitized way. I believe the first season of Student Bodies, that's on that channel. So many other amazing Canadian classics are on that channel, and they're calling it quits. Not sure. I saw an update. So watch it when you can. And also in this is a movie that has never been on DVD that my beloved Melissa Gallianos of Radioactive fame, she is the star. She's the other star in this movie called Going to Kansas City. And Michael Ironside is her dad, and it's I don't know. I really like the movie, honestly, but that the proper digitized version of that is on Encore Plus on YouTube. So make sure you subscribe to that and watch it when you can, because the channel is going away, which is so unfortunate. You know, Encore was one of those things. So make sure you also subscribe to Retro Ontario. Of course, they are the number one leading YouTube page when it comes to YTV preserved content. Back in the day, admittedly, I used a few clips, and I should have asked permission first. Honestly, when you're new to YouTube and you just don't know how it works, you're like, "Hey, who owns this stuff anyway?" But what I really regret about that is kind of just the effort that people take when it comes to uploading clips and recording these shows in real time in the 1990s, then preserving the tapes for 30 years. That is why you should ask permission before using people's clips when it comes to YTV content, because it is really, really, really hard to come by that stuff. And had they not made that personal effort, the footage would be lost forever, because it's not like any official versions of these old clips have been released. So had it not been for the people and the fans and love, um, it would be I wouldn't know where this footage would be. We would all be just talk all those interviews you see where I edit stuff in, that it would kind of just be us talking, and you wouldn't have any clip references. And I truly find, especially with the Radioactive reunion we did a few years ago, make sure you check that out, that without those clips, the interview would have been great, but it wouldn't not have been as punchy. So truly so grateful for So What 25 and all the other and all the other people who have really, really kept these shows alive, because I cannot express my gratitude enough. Thank you for keeping thank you for not throwing out your VHS collection, and thanks for keeping that record button ready, because damn, imagine if you didn't. Let's look at what the people are saying. Bernadette said, I'm subscribed to Encore Plus. As long as you guys are here, I feel like my child is preserved. Thank you, Tupacalypse Now. Okay, Josh is saying, I know I have some topes of, oh, Inuyasha commercial somewhere. It was cool. David K, he was in Inuyasha. I hope I'm saying that right, Inuyasha. I'm really not great with names, and if you've subscribed to me for 6 years, you definitely know that. But David K, he was on the show right before he was announced that he was going to be joining the cast in the newer season. That was a long time ago, kids. During COVID, we did a lot of awesome broadcasts. And, a huge kudos to everybody who were guests during that time. I mean, huge thanks to James Corlett, who played Cheetor, and he was also the adult voice of Goku. Gary Chalk, who was Optimus Primal from Beasties, Beast Wars, Canada. Beasties, and so many, many others. But I believe the first guest we ever had on was Susan Roman from Sailor Moon. She was the first live guest we ever had, and Mick Perlis, and we did that on my birthday, I believe March 2020. That's when we said, okay, well, if the place is on lockdown, April 2020, if the world's going to be on lockdown, we're going to bring the people together. We're going to make them smile, and we're going to not go crazy. Honestly, I say I did it for the people. No, I did it for me. I wanted to not go nuts. And starting a live show back then, it's easier now, but back then was very hard. and a multicam live show, and kind of having that to focus on really not only made me a stronger broadcaster, but at the same time definitely kept me from going shining crazy third act. So anyway, thank you very much again. We need retro YTV. I know we do need a retro YTV. You know what? If I were Netflix, I would just be like, listen, whoever owns this stuff, here's a buttload of money, or let's start our own app. YTV should start their own app. They should start their own retro app. Let's say it costs $5 a month. I'd pay for it. I would, because I'd just be like, if it was properly digitized versions of all this stuff and hours and hours and hours of in between show commentary and all the raw Dark Knight footage with Phil and Paul and all the snit stuff. I mean, there's so much stuff online as is, but it would be even great if there was more. And personally, I'm all here for it. I've been doing this show on and off for about 6 years, and it's never gotten old for me, And we do ask a lot of guests to be on. Sometimes they politely decline because, despite the fact they're in the public eye when they're on camera, they're not in the public eye when it comes to their inner thoughts about things. And I definitely want to respect their privacy. So sometimes, we ask for a lot of guests and sometimes we don't get them. But, that's how it goes. But we are grateful for the guests we did get. And that's good enough for me. Here we go. I've been toying with the idea of setting up a Raspberry to run a YTV channel of all the old shows. Do it. Do it. Come on. Why not? What do you dream that your channel becomes in the future? Subscribed to. That's what I dream. That's what I dream of. Well, no, it's not that I do it for numbers and stuff, but it's definitely a little encouraging when you're making a bunch of new episodes to know that thousands and thousands of people are watching it, and the videos of people just mentioning a YTV show once who get 300,000. And when when they're talking about PJ Freshville, but you yourself have an interview with PJ Freshville and Snit with a surprise appearance of PJ Katie. Check out that live stream; it's amazing. When your stream only gets a few thousand and they have like 300,000, it's a little somewhat discouraging, and I wish it wasn't a factor. In fact, I remember editing things and showing it to like 8 people on a DVD and thinking the entire world was watching. But now now I feel like that other guy from that movie about Mozart who's just super bitter and pissed all the time. And I don't mean to be, and that's not what it's about. And so that's why the show's coming back right now. It's coming back for fun, because doing live rantings and all that is just it's just easy. I have a retro fan page YTV channel. Nice. That's true. That's true, Bernadette. You do. So anyway, keep it all alive, kids. Melissa's dad is Sam Fisher. Oh, right. With Michael Ironside. So anyway, keep it alive, kids. Have some fun. Also, want to mention that Student Bodies is also on the CTV app for free. It's in the throwback section. although none of the episodes are in order. So, me knowing the episodes pretty well, not to a compulsive way, but pretty well, it is interesting to see characters that are breaking up with each other are only meeting each other 4 or 5 episodes later, and I thought that was pretty funny. But anyhow, so it's called. I don't actually understand why you don't have more subs. I don't either. I think it's my hair, or my voice, or the way I speak, the words I choose, the sound of my name itself, the way I wear clothes, and my camera's position. I don't know, but that's okay. You're here, right? So let's have some fun. All right. Well, ladies and gentlemen, I think it's about time to go off into that good night. Melissa and I have a cheesy movie to finish, and then we want to keep watching Wednesday on Netflix. Not related to YTV, but still pretty cool that Tim Burton finally sunk his teeth into the Addams Family franchise. And what's funny is that Barry Sonnenfeld directed the movies from the 90s, and your average person thought Tim Burton made those movies because Tim Burton back then was that director. So to see somebody else handling that, they obviously assumed that, oh, weren't those Tim Burton movies? But at a closer look, you'll realize no, that is definitely the director of Men in Black. So thank you very much. Yep, the algorithm screwed us all, but we're gonna do more videos like this where I'm just yakking into a camera for 20 minutes because apparently those do better than actual interviews with people. So we'll try to do a little bit of column A, a little bit of column B, and if you want to do me a huge favor, to everyone watching right here, I am the producer and co-host of a podcast called the Rockman Power Hour, in which my good superstar friend Jason Rockman interview people like Nikki Sixx. Oh God, there's so many. Re- he interviewed The Rock. Yeah, he interviewed The Rock. That was cool. The three of us interviewed people from bands like Our Lady Peace, The Interrupters. We interviewed Fat Mike from NoFX recently. That is on YouTube, and you can subscribe to it on your podcast app. Especially if you don't really want to watch like a 40-minute YouTube show, I understand. But I also edit the entire thing, so if you want to give it a little sub and a little watch and give us a view, we'd appreciate it. I would appreciate it because that's what the producer and me has to do. I have to go asking and stuff like that. But it's a wonderful show. So seriously, the Rockman Power Hour on YouTube, awesome show. And and if you don't hate the sound of my voice or the look of my face, you see it quite often. So thank you very much for watching. Oh, thank you. Appreciate it. We got some subscribe. Oh, it's funny. Apparently Undergrads is making a movie. Listen, I somewhere on an old hard drive have an interview with the creator of Undergrads who voices almost all of them. And apparently in Canada, he voiced Rocco, but apparently in Canada they had to get at least one Canadian actor for it to be like premiered here. So I interviewed him about that Undergrads movie quite a few years ago, and they had just gotten the rights to go into pre-production. And yes, the Undergrads movie is happening, and I'm going to try to get him on the show again. But this time around, even though they were never on YTV, I'm going to, or maybe Undergrads. No, I believe Undergrads was just on Teletoon. I'm going to try to get him on this show. I'm going to ask him, maybe he'll come on again because it's been a few years and I don't remember any of the stories. But but he's a great guy and he's an awesome dude, big Star Wars fan. His name's Pete, and he's awesome. So thank you very much. Oh yeah, Undergrads is amazing. I love Undergrads. I love all the characters. They're so distinct, and I love how they're childhood friends that are so different because it reminds me of me and my friends. Me and my friends are definitely we all can seamlessly have conversations with each other. We have endless charisma, but at the same time, we are four very distinct dudes. So like Cal and Rocco and Gimpy and Snit, Nids. Anyway, so thank you very much for watching, and I'm gonna be back. This is easy. This is fun. I like talking to you guys. So we'll have some updates if we're not in the Yumi and YTV's new studio. But next time we'll definitely just say hi, what's up, because you all cheered me up so very much. So thank you for tuning in, and I'll see you next time. Have yourselves a lovely evening. And to be fancy, I'm gonna try to end on the theme song.
Did you grow up in Canada? Were you alive in the 90s? Did you love YTV? Yeah, you did.